6 right here. I wouldn't even be able to start this cage right here, way up here by the hole. So that's where the hole would really be, right here. So that would be right like that. That's where that would be in reality. But we're not going to do it. We have to work, you know, abstractly here, right? Kind of have to work abstractly. So we just continue the fretboard on, and we end up with, you know, 7 times 7 squares here, plus 8 times 7, right? 56. But these are duplications. The reason why the Ionian column is shown here is because you want to see its relation to the Lydian here. We also want to see its relation to the Mixolydian. So right here, again, if you go to the left, you know, you're going to the 4th pentatonic, all right, which is really the substitution for the 5th, as we discovered. So we go to the right here, we're going to the 4th pentatonic, because we're pretty much looking at the shapes here. So we've got an E shape here, and then the main shape here is an A shape. That's the 4th. The A is the 4th of the E shape because you move this pattern up. So move 5 root 3 up to root 4 6, and to maintain the major third, 5 root 3, we have to move the 3 over, so we can take care of this. Here's the major third, root to 3. If you like these videos, hit the like button, subscribe, tell your friends, visit Andy's Free Guitar Chart videos on Facebook. Have them right here. Have today's chart up there because I decided to give it a little Andy's Free Guitar Chart videos graphic. And that website right up here is right up. There's a website for Andy's Free Guitar Chart videos. So when you arrive at Andy's Free Guitar Chart videos, you scroll down, and here's today's chart. You just click on the chart, okay, and you can magnifying glass in and take a closer look, kind of pan around today's chart, magnifying glass back out, kind of scroll down, and have here yesterday's video. You can also see it with the captions, which I find are very good. It must have AI that learned what I'm saying. And then we have chart 501 here, you know, and then the first half of the lesson is there, and you have the whole lesson there. So it's 43 minutes instead of the small little YouTube, just 51 minutes instead of the 15-minute window on the YouTube videos that I have. And I have all of the charts and videos there, way, you know, all the way that I've ever made, okay, since the beginning of time. Okay, just a little tired today. C/O means cut out. It means G string cut out, or as you see, we had different. You cut out of any string shape. L means long pattern. D/C means a D minor 7th. Look at this thing almost as a 7. So in the Ionian circle here, the Ionian cage, all right, we have the E-shaped root. Okay, the 4th is the A to the G, and the 5th is the C half shape. Right there. Okay, so that's a dominant 7th right there. dominant 7th C shape, C half shaped G7 to an A7 right here. G, A7 shaped G. So that's what the slash means, half shape. It's usually going to be a dominant, major, minor, or a half diminished. Half diminished is so spread out that, you know, it doesn't really have a shape at all. You know, already the half diminished in a cage is already kind of data crunched into that cage. Matter of fact, we can go ahead and look at that because we have a single shape right there from the get-go. In the Ionian cage, we have a D shape here. All right, so it's a minus D shape. So here's 5√3. All right, so we go E to caged word D. So the E goes to D in cage word. You'd have to bar that to get the nice C there. We're going to take that down 4, 7, 2 right there. So we've got something like this. Okay, so the shape here, again, we're starting on the E. Okay, so this 3 is going to go to a 2 because the 3 is going to go to a 2 because it's a minus D shape. But now we're talking about what comes before D, E. Okay, so it's going to be a minus E there. We have a 2, we have a 4, 2, we have a 7, and then we're going to hit this 7 here, and the 4 here, okay, and the 6. So we've got a nice half shape there, and if you can get the 2 there, so a nice way to play the top 4 strings of the 7 half diminished half shape, okay, is just the 4 open here, 7 to the 4. And you've always got this diagonal 4, 7, 4, 7. Here it's hit the warp, and it kind of, like a light beam coming out of the water, it kind of goes on its own way there. Okay, it's not being slowed down, it's being sped up, so it goes faster over that way. We've got 4, 7, 4, 6, 2. 4, 7. Okay, and then 4 again. Then 6, 2. Alright, so there is, right there is our second minor, and we're just adding a 7 to that. Alright, so that's another way to form a half diminished chord. So, zooming out again, with diminished chords, it pays to use a little caution. For instance, let's look at, I want to show you something here. 5√3, there's your E shape. Where did it come from? Before, when guitarists were just tuning up guitars and finding, okay, I can play an E shape. I can play this E here. Where did it come from? Where did that shape come from? It just came from the intervals. A major 4th here, and then a major 3rd. Okay, so with the same thing with the half diminished, you can just look at this box. The half diminished is 4, 7, and then 2. So you can see this diagonal 4, 7 here. So it takes on its own shape. It just takes on its own shape. So if you want to, of course you can derive the shapes. For instance, we have here a D shape right here. Here's your D shaped 5√3 right there. And just subtract that for a moment. Take it down 1 here. Okay, now remember, this is dominant. slash means some type of seventh added to that mode to make a half shape. Okay, so this would be D minor seventh. This is A minor seventh shaped something. Okay, it happens to be A minor shaped third, G minor shaped second, and D minor shaped root. These would all be, of course, over in this Phrygian box. We wouldn't have any half shapes because everything's good. C, E minor. Keep hitting that six. E minor, E major shaped fourth, G fifth, A minor shaped sixth. Okay, but even in this box we have a minus CA. So let's look at from the A shape 5 root 3. We just bring it down. 5 goes to 4. In the scale, it's a scale reduction. Root goes to 7. 3 goes to 2, and right there you have this 4, 7, 2 kind of thing here, which is right here now. Now I can hit that 6 and make a half diminished 7th chord. So a little caution with, a little improv with that half diminished shape. Okay, but it pays to just learn the half diminished shapes according to the cage shapes. So here this would be the minus A shape, the minus also be a minus C shape. Well, could you really learn it? You'd need a lot of fretboard for that. Okay, so imagine these are connected here. So now we can look at it, and we can take the C shape 5 root